I'm Jeff Hughes and welcome to the eBook Revolution, brought to you by MadhouseMEDIA, and we're on the Stitcher Network and of course on iTunes, and welcome to all our listeners. And if you're a regular listener, and I think we just almost cracked 1,000 downloads in just the first few episodes of this little podcast, if you could pop over to iTunes and rate the show, that'd be fantastic. iTunes or Stitcher, whatever network you're listening to us on, if you could give us a rating, that would help us get to the top of the charts and help to get our message out to other people. So if you could do that, thank you. And yes, you're listening to the eBook Revolution once again, and I hope it's because you like it. I suppose if you didn't, you'd be bored shitless and you wouldn't listen to it. I talked about in a previous podcast the importance of building your writer's platform, and at the centre of a platform, of course, is the humble blog. And I'm very happy to have with me today Mr. Bruce Langford, who's a blogging expert and a writer, and he practices what he preaches. He's built his own platform on the back of the success of one of his books, Cracking the Success Code, which is available in all good bookshops. Bruce is a writer, blogger, podcaster, and bullying expert, and we got him here right now. Bruce, tell me, how did you get into writing? Tell me a bit how you started your writer's journey.
Well, I was a teacher in a school, and I taught music. And when I taught music, of course, I wrote music and wrote lyrics for songs and lyrics for music. And I wrote musicals and different kinds of productions for the students. And then after I did that for 15 years, I started getting into bullying prevention. And when I did work with bullying prevention, I found that I really needed to do a lot of writing, because I wrote the program that I presented in schools, and I needed to write articles and write information about the topic of bullying. And it wasn't very long until I realized that if I wanted to get found online for bullying prevention, I needed to have a blog. And at first, I wasn't really excited about it because I was very, very busy with everything I was doing. But some of my friends had blogs, and they found that they were being read and helping them get found. And so I started my blog, and I made up my mind at the very beginning that I was going to have a regular schedule, and I was going to blog twice a week, no matter what. And so that's what I did from the beginning. And it really paid off for me. So now I help other people with their blogs, and I help people get found online in other ways as well, with videos and articles and just writing in general.
You're right. Putting a blog together is very essential. What sort of advice do you give to new writers that they find all this a bit daunting, the whole blogging thing? What's the easiest way for a writer not familiar with blogging to get their act together and get started?
Well, in my opinion, it's so important to make up your mind, even before you do your first one. Make up your mind what your structure is going to be. Decide how often you're going to blog and stick to it. Don't try to do too much at the beginning, because sometimes people get burned out. And if they start off and they try to do 3 or 4 or 5 blogs a week, it's very, very difficult to keep up that kind of momentum. So if they start on a regular schedule and just keep doing it, that consistency is what's going to pay off.
Of course, one of the hardest things when you start blogging is getting feedback, getting comments. I mean, you can put a lot of work into creating the perfect blog piece, and you've crafted this fantastic piece of writing, and you press publish, and then nothing except crickets. No interaction, no comments. You're not even sure people are even reading it. And that can be a bit demoralising. What advice do you give, Bruce, to boost engagement and start getting people to commenting on your blog?
Well, the first thing I do, and when I teach my clients about blogging, I try to take the emphasis off how many people are actually reading their blog at first, because a lot of times blogs aren't heavily read at the beginning. But it's important once you're starting to blog to make sure that you share it and share your blog in social media. But don't forget to share your blog just with friends and relatives, and just tell people when you're having a coffee, by the way, I have a blog. Here's the site. Would you check it out and join me on the blog? And please leave a comment. So it's really important to just start asking people.
Yeah, you're quite right. Just simply ask. It's called the old call to action in marketing speak, which you'd be very aware of. Just ask for a comment. Tell me, how essential is it, do you think, for a writer to create a platform, to create a social media profile?
Why? Well, the reason is because it's going to increase your online profile. And these days, you are who you are online. You are going to get found by people who are looking for what you have to offer. And so it's incredibly important to start developing your online presence even before you have your book written. Start it as soon as possible, and start to create your personality online so that people get to know you a little bit and get a feel for the kind of person you are, the kind of writer you are, and just start sharing a little bit on social media. And it's just so important to have that kind of online identity, because it's going to very much improve your saleability, improve how many people are looking out for your stories and your books and your articles. It's going to give you a boost all around.
I'm sure there's a lot of new writers listening to this who know instinctively that they need to put a writer's platform together, but they put it in the too hard, evil marketing basket and sort of push it off to the end of the project. The last thing they'll do after they published a book on KDP or wherever. When do you think is the perfect time to start putting your platform together, to start putting your blog together?
Well, I think you should start blogging as soon as possible. It's never too soon to start blogging. As long as you have an idea, you know what it is that your interest is and your passion, then start to blog, because the more you do it, the more practice you get, the better it will be. It just takes practice, it takes time, and you will start to be picked up by the search engines as well if you start early.
Early is good. What do you think is the perfect length for a blog post? Is there a perfect length?
Well, I believe that the ideal length is to have a blog around 400 to 500 words. That's ideal, but I don't want people to be discouraged and think if I've written 300 words and I don't have another thing to say on this topic, don't worry, just publish it. You can publish a 200-word blog, you can publish a 100-word blog, but it is good to make sure that a good number of your blogs are at least 400 words, because they will be picked up by the search engines that way. And it's really good to break your blog up a little bit and not make it one big block of text of 400 words, because that's going to look a little bit undaunting. But around 400 words is ideal.
Of course, one way of getting traffic to a blog is sharing content from other bloggers in your niche. And it's not quite exactly hijacking traffic, but you can share and comment on a similar story that your audience might find interesting.
Yeah, it's a great way to share about what your tools are that you use in your writing. You can share different kinds of tips and ideas, and you can share subjects and topics, and of course share what other people are writing about that you follow.
So share and share alike. I'm going to put you on the spot now, Bruce. Give me your top 5 tips for new writers that want to set out on the blogging pathway.
Well, the first one is something that I find it very hard to get across sometimes, because it's one of the most important things, and this is the title of your blog. The title of your blog is critical, and I emphasize this because I have clients who have written blogs for months, and I go back over and look at what they've written, and they've written great content and they put tremendous energy into it, but they've missed out with their blog title, because the blog title is what search engines see first. And it's also what we see first as readers. And so it's kind of like a fine line. We're trying to interest our readers, of course, and we want to make sure that we've included the content and the subject of our blog, a little bit about what it's going to be about, make it appealing, make it enticing in that title. But at the same time, we want to make sure it's something that will tend to come up in search engine rankings. So that first tip is just to have a really great title for your blog. The next one is it's a good idea to put a survey on your blog. Ask your readers what they want to hear about. Ask them anything. Ask them what some of the tools are that they use when they write. Ask them all kinds of questions, because that's how you learn. That's how you start to interact with your followers, and it's a great way to just create credibility and get to know your followers. And the third tip I have is about video. And nowadays, as you know, video is incredibly important. Video is just one of the top ways to get your message out there. And so many of us click on videos and watch videos to learn and to be inspired online. So I recommend that you film a video and put it on twice a month. And if you're comfortable filming a video of yourself, just talking a little bit about your book that you're writing or some tips or ideas, that's great. But you don't have to actually film yourself. You can just use your audio, and you can use slides. There's different ways to do it. The next tip that I have, number 4, is get to know other bloggers. Leave comments on other blog sites and invite some of those bloggers that you get to know to be guest bloggers on your site. And it's just great to interact with other bloggers, and it really makes it feel like you're doing something as a community. So that's a really important thing to be involved in. And the 5th tip is to make sure you promote your blog. So we already talked about that a little bit, but make sure that you're sharing it on Facebook, and don't be afraid to let people know what you've just written on your blog, and put it on Twitter and share it on LinkedIn and any other social media, Instagram, Pinterest, any other social media that you're comfortable with. Make sure that you share your blog with people, and like you said earlier, put it on your signature as well, so that you're always getting the word out there about your blog.
Well, thank you, Bruce. It's been a fascinating discussion looking into setting up blogs for new writers or even experienced writers who are just wondering about how to set up a writer's platform, which is absolutely essential. And if you haven't started yet, you should start right now. So that was Bruce Langford. Thank you once again, Bruce, for coming in on the podcast. My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me to be on the call. Tune into Bruce's own podcast, which is mindfulness. Let me get it right. Mindfulness Mode, which is available on iTunes. And if you go to mindfulness, that's hard to say, Bruce. mindfulnessmode.com is the website associated with podcasts. So just go right there. That's Bruce Langford. We've had the pleasure of listening to, and you've been listening to me, Jeff Hughes from Madhouse Media, and you've been listening to the eBook Revolution podcast. And as I said before, we're available on iTunes and the Stitcher Network. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd really like you to go and give the show a rating. That'll give us a kick along and get our message out there. Thanks for listening. Till next time, I'm Jeff Hughes from the eBook Revolution.